In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to generate thousands of quality leads using a combination of Google and ChatGPT. I'm also going to be showing you how to clean these leads and convert them into a custom audience inside of Facebook's audience manager, as you can show your ads to. Now this is going to work because the people you're going to be getting, or the leads you're going to be getting from this method, are people who have shown high level of interest in your product or service and are the exact audience or big players in your industry. So whether you sell digital product and you're looking for a specific audience segment to buy from you, this method is going to be working for you. There are 4 steps in this process, and I would urge you to stay until the end of this tutorial so that you won't miss out on any part of it.
So the first process is to enter the following search query into Google. So this is what the search query means. So let's say the site that we want to get this data from is Instagram, and we want to get the data of realtors. So let's say we run a real estate education brand, and we want to be able to target realtors for a course. And then we want Google to also return their emails, which can either be a gmail.com or a Yahoo email or a Hotmail. So I'm going to be leaving this query inside of the description, so make sure you check to see it so that you can use it for yourself. So all you just need to do is to change the site that you want to use. So let's say you want to use LinkedIn, or you want to use Instagram, or any other platform that you want to source this data from. All right, so once you've entered this query inside of your Google search, just tap on enter, and Google is going to return this data. Okay, great. So you can see that Google has returned the names and the email addresses of realtors on Instagram, and there are a lot of them. So what you need to do next is to click on Control A and Control C to copy them. So you've highlighted and now you have copied this data. Then you now open a notepad and paste everything inside. If you notice from this notepad, you would see that it also copied all the information on the search result. So you can now come and start to remove the ones that you don't need and only leave it to the data that you are seeking, which is from here where you have Instagram, and then the name of the realtor, or the name of the person that Google has giving you. And then also you would notice that it's only copied the first search result, the first page of the search result. And of course, Google has up to 10 search results, right? So you would have to copy this data for each of the search results. Another thing you would want to do is, if you want to limit the location of your audience, you can also indicate that in the search query. For instance, you can say site instagram.com, then realtors, and then you now put another quote and then add the locations that you want it to return this audience's data for you. All right. For instance, if you are in Nigeria and you want to be able to target people in Nigeria alone, you can actually enter Nigeria so that it doesn't bring out data for people in other countries. So on this next page, you also do Control A and then Control C and copy them into your notepad. So just ensure that you take out all this other information that is not important. And that's how you're going to be doing it until you have exhausted or reached the last page of the search results, just ensuring that you have enough information. If you also want, you can go to other sites and also retrieve the data so that you have enough. All right, because what we want to do is to be able to retarget these people, these audiences, with Facebook ads. And you can also use this in your email marketing and cold calling as well, right? But in this tutorial, I want to show you how to actually use this to create a custom audience and a lookalike audience inside of Facebook. And you need at least 100 names to be able to achieve this. So let's say we are done with copying the data from Google. The next thing we want to do is to get into ChatGPT and clean this data. So once inside of ChatGPT, you can open a new chat and then enter this prompt. Convert this data into a CSV file with full name and email address as the header, suitable for creating customer list custom audience inside of Facebook Audience Manager. Now, before you click on enter, just ensure that you copy the data from your notepad and enter it into the same prompt box as the first prompt that you created. Then click on enter and let's give it some time to work on the data. So ChatGPT says that it has created a CSV file with the header's full name and email address suitable for uploading into Facebook Audience Manager. But then it also asks us if we would like it to clean up the list by removing rows with empty email addresses so that only valid email remains or only valid contact remains. And I'm going to be saying yes. It has now returned a cleaned list of our CSV file. So let's click on it to see what it has created. And here we have it. ChatGPT has given us the full name and email addresses of our data, right? But then you can see that it is not even up to 20, right? We just have 17. Of course, this is based on what I have done, right? So you on your own, you can go ahead to, get more data of, your audience. So let's say we have up to like maybe 200 or 300 of this data. Next thing to do now is to get into our Facebook Audience Manager and then create a custom audience. Now, if you're not familiar with how Facebook ads work, you may need to go and learn before you can do this. And of course, I have videos on this channel talking about how to create Facebook ads even as a beginner. And then I also have an online course around how to run Facebook ads effectively as well. My one-on-one Facebook ads training for businesses can also be suitable for you. But for the sake of those who are already familiar with this interface, of course, once you get into your ads manager, you're going to be seeing different menu options and you're going to be seeing audiences. So from your audiences, just come to create audience and then click on customer list or custom list. So of course, to create a custom audience, you can create it from different sources. And this time I want to create this custom audience from the customer list. So this means that you have a list of people who have, bought something from you before, or data you just have, just like the one we did right now. So I'm going to click on next and you're going to be seeing the instructions here, and it says a customer list is a file containing information about your customer such as names and email addresses, which are called identifiers, right? So the identifier we have created is the email addresses and the names of the realtors that we've copied, right? That's ChatGPT helps us to put together. So the next thing we're going to do, you can actually read through all of this to understand it better. The next thing we're going to do now is to click on next, and we're going to be uploading the list that we have created. That's the CSV file that we have created. So you can come here and click on choose file on your device. All right, and then we're going to be entering this realtors cleaned list. So now that we have it uploaded, so it's going to ask you, does your file include a column for customer value? We're going to say no, and then you're going to enter the name of your audience, which in this case is realtors. Then come down here, check this box, and then you're going to click on next. So this next page now, Facebook is showing us the information that it actually recognized from the data we provided for it, and what it actually recognized and mapped out are the email addresses, right? So you can see here it has all the email address, but then it hasn't recognized the names, right? It hasn't mapped the names. So I'm going to click on this place where it says action needed, and I'm going to be telling it to upload the this data as the names, right? Okay, so they don't have full name here, so you can just put first name. All right, and then it's going to now go on to map those information as the full name. All right, so here we now have the full name and the email addresses of these people. All right, so once you're done with this part, you can now go to import and create, but I'm not going to do that, and that's because this data is not enough, right? This data that we have gotten is not enough, and they said they need at least 100. So let's say you have enough of those data. All you just need to do next is to click on import and create, and Facebook is going to go on to create a custom audience for you that you can now show your ads to. All right, but after creating a custom audience, they are also going to prompt you to create a lookalike audience. So what a lookalike audience simply means is that it's going to be creating a cloning of the audience you provided for it, right? So it's going to be looking for people who look like, right, who look like the information you have given it, and then you can now also use those in your ads. Facebook ads that uses custom audience are the most effective because you're going to be showing your ad to people who are not new to the business or to the service that you are looking to promote. Another thing you can actually do with this list that you have gotten, in case you don't want to run ads with it, is to do cold calling, right? So you can, get these people and then get your team to actually call them. If you want to actually be able to call, it means that you're going to be asking Google to return their contact information. But with their email addresses, you can actually do email marketing where you're reaching out to them through cold emailing. But then when you're doing that call, you have to actually be careful in your conversation because these are people who are not expecting to hear from you, all right? So you don't want them to ask you, how did you get my contact? You can actually go back to ChatGPT to give you a well-structured message that you can use in your conversation with these people.
If you got value from this tutorial, please like, share, comment, engage in the comment section. And don't forget that Smart Skills Media is here to help set up, manage, and optimize successful ads on Meta, Google, LinkedIn, and even on TikTok. If you need to talk to us, you're going to be seeing a link in the description of this video, and we'll book you for a 5-minute free clarity call so that you can understand your objectives, your goals, and how much you should actually be spending on ads to get the best results. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in subsequent tutorials.